Hey, what's up guys, this is Sarvant, your favorite automobile and tech reviewer. It's nice to be back. And I'm here with a new video. This video is all about the review of the iPhone 13 Pro. Let's dive in. Come, shall we? So this is the long-term review of the iPhone 13 Pro. I have been using this device from the launch day and I had some mixed experience with the device. Most of the iPhones that I have previously used had made me happy whenever I hold them and use them, but not with this iPhone. Let me explain. The iPhone 13 Pro is one of the most compact Pro iPhone from Apple, and yeah, definitely it is the most powerful iPhone in a compact size. I got the 6.1-inch iPhone 13 Pro personally for my day-to-day use because I came from iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is a 6.7-inch mammoth, bigger and a more bulkier iPhone that I felt somewhat uncomfortable to use in hand. Speaking of the size, let me talk about the design and in-hand feel of this iPhone 13 Pro. This iPhone 13 Pro is similar to iPhone 12 Pro. It is actually has the same design as the iPhone 12 series, the same squared, boxy design with glass on the front and back, but this time it is Gorilla Glass Victors, and the camera has been improved a lot so that the size is also improved. The size is very much bigger when compared to a 12 Pro. It's even much bigger than the better cameras that 12 Pro Max had. I mean, take a look at yourself. The camera bump is really huge and the area occupied by the camera is really big, making the available space in the body of the iPhone look shorter. As I already mentioned, the back and front of the iPhone are made by Gorilla Glass Victors. The front of the iPhone also has a new feature called Ceramic Shield. Ceramic Shield is most toughest and scratch resistant coating on top of the Gorilla Glass Victors by Apple. And Apple makes the biggest claim on this Ceramic Shield devices. They say they are the most hardest and most roughest iPhone, that these devices are not easy to break and get scratches easily. But the reality is, even an iPhone with a ceramic shield is prone to breaking and it can attract scratches in just one day of use. This is fully on my experience. I'm saying that this glass is not that strong or not scratch resistant, because at the same day of launch I managed to put some scratches on this iPhone. I'm basically a guy who keeps his devices and all his gadgets with scratch free. I take utmost care to them, but on the same day of launch, in just one day of usage, I managed to put some heavy scratches on this glass that are very much visible. And not only that, I managed to broke the screen even while having a tempered glass on it. That's when the drum roll kicks in. I had my tempered glass and I was talking to my phone. I was watching my time on my wrist, and all of a sudden I dropped my phone onto my watch. That is a G-Shock watch, by the way. This is that watch. This is that watch that I was wearing, and I was on my phone call. And all of a sudden I lost my phone and it dropped onto here, which damaged the side bezels, and the whole crack developed over the screen. So I pretty much don't believe on this ceramic shield or Gorilla Glass Victors. All I can say is glass is glass and glass might break. So an extra protection may be helpful in any situation, like Apple Cat Plus or any sort of strongest, tougher and most durable tempered glass that goes on top of your iPhone. You should be good to go. Okay, enough of raving about this phone. This is my experience. I broke the glass. Yes, the glass did broke to me. Other than the glass, everything that this iPhone does is excellent and phenomenal till date. Okay, let me talk about the tech specifications of the display. The display on this iPhone is something that is more special and it's not found on any other iPhones before. Yes, this iPhone has a ceramic shield on top. That's another story that I already said. But it has a ProMotion display. ProMotion display is that the refresh rate on this iPhone can go up to 120 Hz. Normal iPhones can go only up to 60 Hz, but even the normal iPhone will feel smoother. When this iPhone can do 120 Hz, this iPhone will blast through any of the operations you do on this iPhone. Like anything, if you want to touch it, it will be smoother. If you want to go in any apps, anything you're scrolling in Instagram, with whatever you go, you scroll, whatever you interact with the screen will feel very much smooth and it will just fly through any task you give it. iPhones are usually faster and they fly through any given task, but this ProMotion display ups the level and it makes the iPhone feels very much smoother, and it makes you special when using this iPhone, particularly from any other iPhones, even from the iPhone 13 series like iPhone 13 and 13 mini. This This iPhone display can now go up to 1000 nits of brightness, which is 200 nits above from iPhone 12 Pro. iPhone 12 Pro can go up around 800 nits of maximum brightness. So sunlight visibility and reading text under heavy sunlight can be done easily now because of the highest brightness. Display also saves battery. You know how? It's because this iPhone display can go down up to 10 Hz. That means it refreshes lower than 60 Hz than the normal iPhones. When this iPhone drops to 10 Hz, when you're not using, like this state, when I'm just keeping this phone normally, it will just refresh at 10 Hz. When I want to scroll, it will go up to 120 Hz. And when you're viewing a photo in the photos album, it will go down to 10 Hz. So that is the best feature on this iPhone, according to me. And promotion was and is a game changer to every Apple fan who was waiting from the day that the iPad Pro got 120 Hz. They want it on the iPhone and now finally they have it. Speaking of the faster, smoother and ProMotion display, this iPhone packs an A15 Bionic chipset to make the display run even more smoother. Let me explain. This iPhone 13 Pro has an upgraded A15 Bionic chipset that you cannot find in any iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 minis. How? Because this iPhone has 2 extra GPU cores than the normal iPhone 13. It is a 6-core CPU and 8-core GPU processor in it, which has a Geekbench score of more than around 4700, I believe, which makes it the top most powerful smartphone chipset in the entire world. And this smartphone chipset has not yet been beaten by any other devices, even though this smartphone chipset is around 1 year now. And this A15 Bionic chipset in the iPhone 13 Pro also has 6GB of RAM. You might just wonder, in a world of flagship smartphones that are ranging from 12GB to 16GB of RAM, this iPhone just has 6GB of RAM. How in the world this phone can be faster than those devices which are 16GB or 12GB of RAM? You might wonder. But that's where the iOS kicks in. This iPhone comes in with the iOS 15 and is guaranteed for 5 years of software update. Apple usually support iPhones for 5 years of software updates because the iPhone 6s that was released in 2016 also gets the update even till now, till the iOS 15. So it's great to know that any iPhone you buy from Apple will be supported for around 5 years. So long story short, the iOS optimization is really good and very much better than the Android counterparts. So this phone just really needs 6GB of RAM to fly through any task and keep every app in memory. This iPhone is also fastest to do video editing, photo editing and that kind of stuff. The A15 Bionic in this iPhone not only makes this iPhone faster and it makes the iPhone to more capable. Speaking of capable, this iPhone has 3 12 megapixel rear facing cameras and the front one is a 12 megapixel shooter as well. All these cameras can shoot up to 4K 60 FPS in HDR. HDR is high dynamic range. And this iPhone also gained a new feature called ProRes. ProRes is a professional format for video shooting where professional photographers use this format to get more detail out of their video and have the extra level of headroom while post-editing. Apple introduced ProRes with this iPhone. All you need to do is open the camera app, go to video and click the ProRes button that is available on the top left corner and you can just shoot it. ProRes on this iPhone works only up to 4K 30 FPS when you go with 256GB or higher capacity smartphones. When you choose 128GB of an iPhone, it will just record up to 1080p at 30 FPS. It won't do 4K in ProRes because of the storage concerns. It will just limit you up to 1080p in 30 FPS. And that's not it. Apple also added a photographic style, which is a photographic style that will let you customize your photos in different manner. For example, when you choose photographic styles, there are different formats. There is a standard color and there is rich contrast and vibrant, warm and cool. You can also adjust tone and warmth in all of these options. You can customize and stand out in the pictures that you want to take. So photos got photographic styles. What about video? Video got cinematic video mode. Cinematic video mode is nothing but portrait mode for videos. The portrait mode for video works similar to portrait mode for photos. It is simply that the video with the bokeh. And it works pretty much good. Let me show some samples to you. their iPhone 13s. It will work only with the iPhone 13, like the iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 Pro and the Pro Max. The photos from the iPhone 13 Pro are really crisp, clear, has more detail in every shot. And if you want a point and shoot camera that always makes you happy with the results of it, you should definitely consider buying this iPhone, because the main sensor of the iPhone 13 Pro is superior to all the other two lenses. This main sensor has more clarity, more clearness, more crisp to it compared to other telephoto and ultra-wide sensors. The photos from the main sensor looks really crisp, clear, and the high dynamic range from this main sensor are mind-blowing. The photos from the iPhone 12 Pro Max were good for me personally, but after using the iPhone 13 Pro I can feel the difference quite a lot. Usually a generation gap in iPhone does not have much impact on the photo quality. You can only notice a huge difference in photo quality if your upgrading cycle is like 2 years or 3 years. But I can clearly see a difference in clarity of the main sensor from the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 13 Pro. The iPhone 13 Pro's main camera also has sensor shift stabilization. That means it is better than OIS. OIS is optical image stabilization. This, the iPhone has sensor shift stabilization. Sensor shift is sensor will itself shift along with the vibration and shake of the user to produce clear shots and clear videos that are stable and are usable in real world. It basically avoids any shakiness in videos and photos, and it has taken to a new extent. The ultra-wide sensor and telephoto sensor and the main sensor has a uniform color science. The ultra-wide is good, clear, and it has the same effect as HDR thanks to A50 Bionic for the processing. But the ultra-wide sensor is comparatively softer than the main sensor. The telephoto on this iPhone has been improved to 3x of optical zoom, and this telephoto sensor makes you take portrait shots like 85mm lens that you typically use on professional cameras like what we shoot right now. This iPhone 13 Pro also has a LiDAR scanner. Speaking of portrait mode from the telephoto lens, this LiDAR scanner helps you take better portrait shots than the iPhone 12 Pro series. I'm saying better in the sense, it's way much better. The edge detection are really crisp and clear. The edge detection is phenomenal. The separation from foreground and background is mind-blowing. Usually from the previous generation of iPhones, a small gap between a human hand and the body will not be blurred. But now in this iPhone 13 series, thanks to the help of LiDAR and better algorithms, the iPhone 13 Pro now blurs even the gap between a hand and a body, and this is just an example that I want to try to convey so that you can understand easily. The edge detection is typically on another level compared to the previous gen. I personally never used any of the Android counterparts, so I cannot comment on that. And when you ask me how it is better than the previous generation iPhones, it's completely better and it's different, and it takes the photos to a new level. Videos. You have heard it a lot of times from a lot of creators. Everyone online use iPhone to take videos like reels, YouTube videos, shorts. Everyone use their iPhones. Because of what? Yeah, video quality on iPhone is the best in the smartphone industry. I can really say on that video quality on this iPhone is stellar. Videos that are shot on this iPhone 13 Pro are true to the life, and this iPhone 13 Pro makes the video shot on this looks like you just see through your eyes. The videos are that much better. Why should I speak? Let the sample speak to you. As I said, this iPhone has better HDR capabilities thanks to the smart HDR5 that is present on the iPhone and the processing of the A50 Bionic chipset. iPhone is the king when it comes to taking videos on a smartphone. They are as best as shooting in a professional, costly and mirrorless cameras like this one. Every lens is capable of shooting 4K now. With the cinematic mode, it is not just a portrait mode for videos, it also has rack focus system. The rack focus system is found on most of the Hollywood films. Like, it will change the focus to one person to another person. If one person turns his head to see the other, it will blur his face and focus on the other person behind. That's very much cool feature that most of the photographers will welcome and use it in their videos. The night mode photos from the iPhone 13 Pro are improved drastically, and it's way much better now. The low light capabilities of these iPhones are very much better. They are one of the best or the best in the smartphone world. The telephoto camera can also zoom up to 15x, and the 15x photos from this iPhone are somewhat usable in some situations. Let's move on to front-facing camera. The front-facing camera is 12 megapixel, and it has all the software features as the rear camera, and it still lacks autofocus. It can shoot videos up to 4K 60fps in HDR, and cinematic mode also works on the front-facing cameras. You should not forget about slow fees that were launched in the iPhone 11s. This phone can also do that. Slow fees are nothing but a slow motion front-facing video. Enough of speaking of the front camera, let's speak about its housing. Usually iPhones have front-facing camera, IR projector, dot projectors, light illuminators that the sensors that usually used to scan face and helps in working of Face ID. Now the size of the notch has been reduced. The earpiece has been moved to the top and all the sensors and cameras are placed into the notch. So that is one of the visual changes to the iPhone 13 series, and that's why we can find the iPhone 13 Pro unless you choose a Sierra blue color, that is a new color for the iPhone 13 Pro. Or if you are careful enough and if you are an Apple fan, you can just notice how big the camera bump is on the back and you can know that this is the newly launched iPhone 13 Pro. And next comes the battery life of this iPhone. The iPhone 13 Pro has a 3095 mAh of battery. It also supports 20 watt of fast charging. The 20 watt adapter is not included in the box. For your reference, Apple stopped including their adapters in the box, so you need to buy it separately to get fast charging abilities on your iPhone 13 Pro. The battery life on the iPhone 13 Pro was great at the beginning. It will usually last me a day of normal use like texting, calling, using of social medias, some navigation, some light gaming, some moderate use, some photographs, some videos taken in a day. It will just last me for an entire day. I will take this phone out of charge in the morning and I will plug it in the night. But after that, after some usage, after 6 months, I started noticing some battery drains in this iPhone. Usually lithium-ion batteries age really quick and the battery life tend to reduce, that's normal. But the iPhone 13 Pro cannot live up to my expectations. If you buy this iPhone 13 Pro for gaming and you are an extreme gamer, this phone won't even last you a day. Like a typical day, this phone will not even last a day because it has a 3095 mAh battery. That's really a small cell compared to some other Android counterparts. Even the Android phones at lower cost in the budget range has around 6000, 5000 mAh of batteries. But we should not compare those phones. Their optimization is different and iOS optimization is completely different. It's better to my knowledge, and I am still complaining because after 6 months battery life gets to drain. I cannot even make it to the entire day. If I take some photos, the phone will drain battery quickly. If I want to put some navigation, the phone will drain battery quickly. And in the normal usage after 7 months and even now, it's like I'm using an iPhone that I used 4 to 5 years back. I need to put my iPhones like iPhone 5s, iPhone 6, I need to put it to charge like 2 times a day for an extreme like power user. I'm a power user and I need to charge it twice a day. So this iPhone had put me to that stage. I previously used an iPhone XS Max, iPhone 12 Pro Max. None of these Max devices made me to charge 2 times a day or made me unhappy about the battery life. But this iPhone, the Pro iPhone, made me to charge twice. I just could not make it to an entire day with an extremely heavy task like a lot of navigation, camera, work stuff, messaging, calls. I could not just make it to an entire day. So that's why I got this Maxi battery pack. Review on this will be later. It's just easy and simple. It just attached to the iPhone. It won't drop. It's attached by magnets and it's wireless charging solution. This review is completely different and it's a different video. I will explain everything on another video. So stay subscribed to see the video on the Apple MagSafe charger. So that's pretty much it. The battery life won't even last you an entire day. So if you are choosing to buy an iPhone 14 Pro or an iPhone 13 Pro, just remember, if you are a power user, don't go for this device because only of the battery life. If you are comfortable with the 6.1 inch size, yes, this size is really cute and compact. That's why I bought the 6.1 inch iPhone. Now I'm just fed up why I bought the 6.1 inch iPhone because of the battery life and the use case. I have been using the Max devices for the past 3 years. Like from 2018, I'm only using a Max device, and just using 1 year of 6.1 inch just normal Pro iPhone, I dropped it quite a lot of times. I dropped this phone like a lot of times in a hard floor, heavy floor. From my bike, I dropped it a lot of times. It didn't have any kind of dent. All I had is a normal Apple clear case. That's it. The clear case did the job. It doesn't even have any scratch or dent on it. But I dropped it a lot of times. On that regard, the build quality is really good because of the stainless steel edges. But the battery life is still not good. This is my experience. I might just go raving about the battery life. But battery life on this iPhone is not that great on a longer period of time. This iPhone is around 11 to 12 months old now. On the day of shooting this video is 5th of September, and in just 2 days you will get to see the iPhone 14 Pro. So it's almost 1 year gap between the iPhone cycles, and this iPhone cannot even hold up to it on the battery life. And my battery life has even dropped to 88%. I use Apple chargers to charge or some power banks to charge. That's it. Yes, using a power bank can reduce the battery health, I know that, but the battery on this iPhone is not just great, and that's the one feature that makes me feel like, and this battery life on this iPhone makes me, I could not rely on this phone for an entire day of work. Like if I'm traveling, I cannot just rely on this iPhone for navigation, phone calls, and it might drain easily. So that's one concern about this iPhone 13 Pro. Other than that, it's totally my experience. It's totally like 1 year of review. I never done a review on this iPhone yet. This is my final review of this iPhone before the iPhone 14s. This iPhone glass, the iPhone glass might break. Even though you had a tempered glass, I had a tempered glass, it might break. Even though this phone is ceramic shield, Apple might advertise it as a ceramic shield, tougher glass, scratch resistant. Apple doesn't give any assurance or like guarantee that this glass will not break. They might break, glasses might break. So my glass has been broken. I never used a device with the broken glass for over, like I'm using this for around 10 months with the broken glass. That's not at all I've done before. So that's one gripe I have about this iPhone. And the battery life on this is not that much great. If you want a better battery life, the best battery life, you should go to the Pro Max devices. The iPhone 13 Pro is the king in battery life. I just always think about it, why I never bought an iPhone 13 Pro Max, because I thought my iPhone 12 Pro Max was very much big and heavy in my hand, and it started to hurt me when I was using it for a longer period of time. So I just chose to go to the iPhone 13 Pro, and I'm really not that much happy with this device of its battery life. Other than the battery life, the form factor, the size, the shape, the powerful A50 by chipset. Cameras are excellent. They are super duper cool on this iPhone. The color, the Sierra blue is really striking and it looks really cool from a longer distance. I just admire this iPhone for this color. This iPhone, yes, this is pretty much a good iPhone. Did we talk about speakers? No, right? The stereo speakers on the iPhone 13 Pro blow your mind. The iPhone's speakers are the best in any smartphone. These speakers have the much more clarity to it. They have the bass, they have clarity, they have volume. They can be enough for room filling sound. You don't need an external input speaker if you have an iPhone with stereo speakers. The haptic motor on this iPhone, the haptic vibration are the best. It will even wake you up in the morning. Even if you don't get to listen to the alarm sound, the vibration on this iPhone will make you wake up in the morning. The haptic motor are just the best in any of the smartphones in the entire world right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the iPhone 13 Pro long-term review. These are totally my experience. Apple, I might raven about battery life and the glass. These are my experience, and you people, when you consider buying the iPhone 13 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro, just keep in mind what I've said and just choose the best device that suits you. So that's pretty much it. Stay subscribed to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, let's create the spark. Meet you soon with an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching. It's time for editing.